If you're getting started coming from JavaScript, I feel like the best place to start is let's just figure out what the simple values are that we have access to. So strings, characters, numbers, booleans, that's all we're gonna need to dive into like the initial syntax of the language. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take a look at JavaScript and we're gonna compare it to Elm. So at the top, I've got Elm REPL, it's just a command that I typed here, and that's gonna allow me to do some Elm in the terminal. And then I've also typed node. This is how you can do some JavaScript in the terminal. So in JavaScript, for example, if I wanted to say, hello world, that's creating a string in JavaScript. So I'm using double quotes, putting some text in between. And it's the same thing with Elm. So if we want to make a string in Elm, we just type hello world. In JavaScript, you can use single quotes to do this too. And you can also use backticks. These are all equivalent values. You can see in green, it's printed out the same stuff, but it's up to you which of these three that you want to use. In Elm, we don't use single quotes for strings. What we do is we use single quotes for a different data type called Char, which is short for character. So if you want to represent a single character like the digit 1 or Z or basically a single part of a string, that would use single quotes. And then the only other way you can make a string in Elm is you can use triple quotes, which allows you to use quotes without problems. So here you see it automatically took care of escaping quotes, which is a problem that you'll run into if you are just using regular quotes in a language. Hello quote, that's going to be an issue because you're basically escaping the quote. You know how that works. That's not that interesting. So that's strings. So in Elm, we use double quotes for strings and we use single quotes for characters. So not too different from JavaScript there. I'm going to just clear Control L, and let's start talking about numbers. So if I want to do some math in JavaScript 1 + 1, it's the same kind of thing in Elm. In JavaScript, we have numbers, which can either be something like 1.5, which has like decimal in it, or 100, which is like an integer. It could be a decimal number too. And in Elm, things are broken up into floats and ints. So if you're dealing with numbers that don't have decimals, that's kind of ambiguous. It could be a float or it could be an int, but there's different behavior in JavaScript for like division, for example, for floats versus ints, even when you're using numbers. So for example, if I have 10 and I divide that by 3, I'm going to get this floating point number. But in JavaScript, in JavaScript here, if I do parse int of that result, it is going to do the division and then drop the decimal part. So that's kind of the behavior you'll get if you do 10 divided by 3 here. You're going to get that same float result, but if you want to do integer division, there's actually a special division keyword to save you some time here, and that's going to just give you the 3 directly. So no need to call parse int or anything. When we use double slash, that is built into the Elm core library as integer division, and it's really helpful because it's a way that I can show you that we're going to be dealing with this int values. You can kind of ignore these colon things. We're going to circle back on this in the next unit or whatever we're calling these things. But don't worry about them too much for now. But those are numbers. Those are ints and floats. There's one more thing that I'm going to show you in this video, which is booleans. So in JavaScript, you can represent something as true or false. So when you say like is 2 greater than 1, you're going to get 2. You're going to say is 2 less than 0, you're going to get false, that kind of stuff. In Elm, we have booleans too, but the weird thing is that they're going to have capital letters. We're going to figure out why that is in the unit we get to when we get to custom types, spoilers, but we use them just the same. So 2 greater than 1 is going to give us true, just with a capital T, and 2 less than 0 is going to give us false, but with a capital F. So that's pretty much it. That is strings, characters, floats, ints, and booleans. So hopefully that made sense, and I'll catch you in the next one.